3, 2, 1. Fight!
I think it's live. It just hasn't.
Mortal Kombat.
Yes. Here we are.
Oh, fantastic.
Once again, Takeover Podcast live.
Yeah. Well, we had to fire it up because Josh Merritt started his podcast in town, so we got competition now. No, I'm just kidding. Love you, Josh. We need to have him back on. We got Laci in here eating a sucker.
Can't see her, but she's here.
You can't see her?
I mean, a little bit. You can see her hands.
Scoot in.
No.
You can see her hands. Jesus Christ.
What? How am I supposed to scoot?
It is a mic stand. It just fucking swivels however you need it.
This is going to be a wild
Scoot
success.
towards Zach. I know, he's black.
That's right.
So
You can't say that on a live podcast.
I can.
Like now I have to be mad.
No, that's just what you're supposed to be. You don't have to be it.
Well, now I do because everybody knows.
You don't have to. That's weird, you know.
So,
Oh, okay. Roger.
if
Can
you guys
see Laci is all I need to know.
yeah, Laci's in there.
All right,
Um,
fantastic. So you're going to the gay bar with your sister is where we left off before we started?
Yes. I'm gonna see if my friend Kim
What
wants
is
to
that
go.
place called? I can't remember.
your
Alter
friend
Egos.
Ken?
Alter
Ken.
Ego.
Yeah.
Of course you would know, you fucking flamer.
No, I've heard people talk about it before. Apparently, it's
He's
like a good
probably
environment.
went.
I've
That's
never
what I'm
been.
saying.
Never been.
Chase has definitely been.
I've definitely been. But
All right.
with all that being said,
This
so
is yours. You probably can't see it.
oh, I didn't know it was there. So for those of you that do know and do not know, we are probably going to be at Dugan Best this Saturday.
Oh, yeah, for Big B Pro Wrestling.
Big B Pro Wrestling. We're going to try and do it live, but with the data restrictions in the Dugan Best Center, may not be possible. Maybe a pre-recorded show, and then we'll post it on YouTube. We'll keep you guys updated on that. You know, we'll be posting from the show. We may take a few videos at the show and post those on the page as well. We'll see how that goes. Old Bobby Wilson invited us down there, and I don't know if you guys saw the video. I'll probably share it here in the post, but
Who was that fucking weirdo?
Oh, Raw Dog Randy Wilson
who
called
he
us
is?
out. Yeah.
Raw dog.
I thought it was fucking funny. Just maybe I overanalyzed it, but I couldn't get past the fact that the video started with him staring into a wall. What were you doing before the video started?
I didn't know exactly what was going on, but as I listened to him talk, I was just like, "Oh, he's talking shit!" That's what's happening here. He's
That's
talking
100%
shit.
what's happening here.
It's like, all right, buddy. Well, don't make me step. Hey, Raw Dog Randy Wilson, don't make me step in the ring this Saturday at Dugan Best at 1003 Omega Street.
He don't want no fucking part of that. No part of that.
Stuff will get wild, man. It
Raw
will get
Dog.
wild. First of all, your name's Raw Dog.
Is he cheddar and cheese raw dog or like original?
He's like the 99-cent jumbo pack. Raw Dog.
99 cent jumbo. He ain't even the on brand. He's that great value.
Ooh, man. I don't know.
Oh shit.
Well, I don't know.
I
Raw
went
dog.
after every cherry Jolly Rancher I could find.
Pull the mic closer to you.
No.
This is gonna be awesome.
Y'all are both eating a sucker on that side of the table.
So, guys, it has been a while since we've been in here, and
It
a lot
has.
of things have happened.
Nothing inside this room though.
No,
It's exactly as we left it.
exactly.
You said he spent 15 minutes looking for that camera.
Yeah.
It was in
Really?
here.
Oh.
Yeah, I was at home and I was like looking around. I was like, man, we want to get this podcast going by a certain time. And then I'm like looking for the camera. And then I text Jacob. I was like, is the camera at your house? He's like, yes. Oh, shit. So I spent all that time looking for it. And of course it was here because I left it here.
Absolutely.
But yeah, so there's been a lot that's gone down since our last podcast, which has been several weeks. But recently, there has been a bit of controversy in this town.
Regarding Nazi
yes,
dude?
yes.
What a fucking dummy.
So this is pretty great. This is I've been wanting to talk about this since it happened the other day.
He went viral too. Like
Yeah,
he's everywhere.
so check this
He
out.
sure
So
did.
for
Yeah.
people that don't know, which I would find it interesting if you didn't actually know what happened, there was a there's a city sponsored event downtown called Trail of Treats, I think is what it's
Yeah.
called, and everybody from all around town and tri-state area show up, get some candy, whatever. So some brilliant guy thought it would be a good idea to dress himself up as a Nazi officer, and accordingly, in the same swift action of Halloween justice, he decided to dress his son up as Adolf Hitler. And they went downtown in front of everybody and trick-or-treated. And this has created a ton of controversy online. It's made international headlines. This picture has been spread all over the web. I mean, the people are making videos about it. There's YouTubers talking about it. Everybody is fired up about the Nazi and his son Adolf. So, with that being said, there has been a lot of questions about, is this right? Is this wrong? Can he do that? Should he do that? Is he allowed to do that? Is he hurting anyone? So I kind of wanted to throw that out there and get kind of your guys' opinion on the situation as a whole, what you think about the guy. Should he have done that? Can he do that? What's wrong with it?
Well, when I seen it, I just shared it because I thought it was fucking hysterical. The thing is, where I stand on it, so he can absolutely do it. Obviously, he wanted attention. That's the whole reason he did it. You can call yourself a history buff or whatever the fuck excuse you want to make now that you got like extremely called out for it. He lost his job over it, which is fucking silly. But so yes, he can do it. Is it right? No, it's not. But the same freedom that allows him to do that also allows us to talk about it. So he got upset because people were calling him names, calling his kid names, shit like that. That is exactly the kind of thing you're subjecting yourself to when you choose to do something like that.
Right.
So, I mean, I could go out in public right now dressed up as a fucking Klansman. Am I allowed to? I'm absolutely allowed to. But if I get my ass whooped by a bunch of black dudes, they're also allowed to do that. I mean, technically not legally, but you know what I'm saying? It's this exact same lines. Yeah. You're dressed up as someone who is a well-known douchebag, as a massive understatement. Okay. So I don't know. I think as far as, do you think it's right if he lost his job? That's another tricky thing.
That's another thing too in and of itself. There's so many different questions that are being asked, and everybody's kind of trying to like pin it all on one thing, like he's a Nazi, he should not exist in this society.
And the other side of it is that they are Holocaust deniers. His wife was on Facebook arguing with people in the comments saying that there's no tangible proof that the Holocaust ever happened. The gas chambers were actually de-licing chambers. Shit like that. She was arguing with people over it. So, all the pictures we have and, you know, the places that still stand and all that shit's totally fucking fake.
Yeah,
so,
see,
I'm kidding for everyone.
I had the let me go. I actually was lucky enough to be able to talk to a Holocaust survivor and ask him that question. How do you feel about people, you know, world leaders, anybody with any kind of influence that basically deny the Holocaust ever existed? He's like, I lived it. He's like, you can't tell me it didn't happen because I was there. He's like, you could say maybe one camp or another didn't exist. He's like, but the camp I was in, it was real. He's like, I've seen the bodies. He's like, you can go to the museums. You can go to these places where it happened. Mm-hmm. He's like, and you can still dig up mass burial graves. He's like, what more proof do you need?
Right.
He's like, these people are pretty much delusional. And it's like, hearing that from a guy who lived through it is like, you'll never question it again.
Right.
You know, because there's a kind of conviction in someone's voice who's lived through something like that they display whenever they, you know, talk to you about, you know, an event such.
Reading that, dude, it was just, I couldn't help but to think that she listens to fucking Alex Jones.
Yeah.
For sure.
100%.
For sure. She's on the same drug that he's on. That's for sure, dude.
The good ones.
Blake said, I feel like any costume representing a hate group should be banned. Can't dress as Hitler in Germany or Japan.
Well,
definitely his right, but it's also people's right to call him and his son out. I agree with the second part. First part, very fine line of what you tell people what they can and can't
that's
wear.
the problem. You contradicted yourself. You said that he shouldn't be allowed to wear it, but then you also said it's his right. So we are not Germany. We're definitely not fucking Japan. We're the United States of America, where we're allowed to do things that we see fit within reason. So the freedom of expression, especially our First Amendment, it's a matter of calling a cop a pig or flipping off a senator or anything else. Burning the American flag is protected. There's all kinds of shit that you may not see as correct. That doesn't mean that you get to just outright ban those things. The same with the Confederate flag. When they banned that as a hate symbol. I don't feel one way or the other about it. Honestly, when I see it, it doesn't offend me. It's got no reason to offend me. I don't give a fuck. I think that we're the United States of America. We fall under one flag. That's the United States flag. But I think it's absolutely wrong that it was banned to begin with. I mean, it's not really banned. You still can fucking
A lot of places,
buy anything.
well, yeah, a lot of places stopped selling it.
Yeah,
a lot of people.
you can buy hoodies and shit with it still. So
Yeah.
it's not really banned per se, but
It's kind of it's falling along the same weird lines where it's just like it's racist or it's offensive, so we should get rid of it.
Yeah.
And that's a very slippery slope because whenever you start doing that, whenever you start labeling people, and like say this guy for example, Jesus, he went downtown to a public function that's put on by the city where he has every right to be, and he can wear whatever he wants while he's there.
Yep.
So that's not in question. Is it okay? That's subjective. You know, some people don't.
well,
give
what
a
he's
shit.
saying specifically is that it should be banned. The outfit
yeah.
should be banned. What do you think about that?
Well, no, you at a public event like that, obviously shouldn't be. You can't ban outfits.
You can't ban everything that's offensive.
Right.
100%.
Point blank, period. Even the city of Owensboro said that they couldn't stop him from doing that at a public.
And they shouldn't be allowed to.
Yeah.
They
No.
shouldn't, that's
Yeah,
where
they
I
shouldn't.
stand on it. Is it wrong that he did it? Yes, but he's allowed to do
Well,
it. You can't.
It's debatable whether or not it was wrong. You gotta because
I think it's wrong. Morally, I think it's wrong.
in
Yeah,
what
morally
okay.
wrong.
So
Am I saying that there should be a law, or am I saying he
Okay.
should have been arrested? Absolutely not.
now,
No.
just to play devil's advocate, what is wrong about it?
What is wrong about it to me is the fact, one, he knew that it would be a mass outrage, and he chose to do it anyway. Two, he knew that it would be extremely offensive to most people, and he chose to do it anyway. Three, and most importantly, he chose to subject his child to it.
Yeah, that's a big deal.
That's the
I
biggest
think
deal.
that was the biggest thing. Was
He
was
chose
the
to
child.
subject his child.
Yeah.
What I think he involved his child for, I think that he wanted the attention of dressing up as a Nazi. Unquestionable, in my opinion. He wanted that attention. And he thought to himself, okay, if I go down there by myself dressed up as a Nazi, I will 100% get the shit beat out of me. So how can I avoid that? Oh, I know. I'll dress my fucking 5-year-old up as Hitler.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
bullshit.
Supposedly,
And then-
he wore this outfit out in public, even to places
Yeah.
like Olive Garden and all that I had seen on Facebook.
I had
What
seen
an
that
idiot.
too, where somebody had said that he had worn it more than once, and I also saw reports where, well, he does reenactments where they'll do like shows and stuff like that. That
Well, at an
depict-
appropriate function, that's fine.
Yeah, I mean that makes more sense to wear it there, and I think that costume or that uniform, whether or not it's authentic in its own right, you don't just have one of those. Like
No, you have
it's
to-
in
Yeah,
full
you have to
complete.
buy it.
And he didn't just have one swastika patch; he had another one for his son.
Mhm.
So that was the thing for me. So obviously he had spent a little bit of time preparing this costume, not just for the Halloween purposes. He had it ahead of time. Whether or not he had it because he is actually a Nazi, I have no idea.
I don't think he's actually a Nazi.
No,
I
probably
think
not.
he wanted attention.
It's-
I think that's
it's
what
very,
it
very
stems
fun.
from.
Yeah.
He wanted attention.
I
And he
was-
knew that he would get the shit kicked out of him if he went by himself.
I was more on his side about it when his story was that he was doing it because he liked historical figures. But then when everybody started leaking that they think he was a white supremacist or what have you,
Yeah.
that's when I was kind of leaning towards not really being supportive of it. I mean,
Yeah.
he can dress up as whoever he wants. That's not my thing.
I
And if
almost
he genuinely was just into history, then that's just part of it.
I almost feel like people just what's up? It's rain.
Oh man, I was like,
There's an outside environment.
yeah, I was hearing rain. I was like, damn, that rain is loud. So-
Yeah, it is loud. I can hear it on my headset. I think that people oftentimes just throw the white supremacist card at anybody.
Yeah, they
Well, it's
will.
an
They
immediate
really
way
will.
to discredit somebody's argument or any kind of
Right,
thing that they
but here's
say.
the thing: the vast majority of people who were killed in the Holocaust were white. It
Yeah,
was
that's true.
if you want to say Christian supremacist, okay,
Yeah.
No.
that's more accurate. But they're not going to say Christian supremacist.
No.
They're going to say white supremacist.
Yeah.
So I think that's bullshit.
It is weird, and this is something that nobody could have kind of seen it blowing up to the extent that it did. I thought when I saw it, I was like, stupid, whatever. Then
Yeah.
I started seeing it on like all these like a UK website had posted. I think it was either Daily Mail or there's another off website that is based in the UK, and I started seeing it like international headlines. I was like, oh my god, it's gonna blow up. You see a picture of a Nazi, and you see a picture of a kid dressed up as Hitler. Thank God they blurred that kid's face out, because that was the one
It's not
thing.
like you can't find the picture though.
Yeah.
Right,
It's
and,
everywhere.
and the problem that I was starting to see with the posts and the videos and the commenting was most of the people that were against him were threatening him and his son with physical violence.
Yeah,
that is
true.
absolutely not
That
okay.
is true.
It's one thing to be like, I don't agree with you, and I think you should never be able to wear that in
we
public.
should have him on the podcast.
Oh my fucking god!
What
No.
do you think he'd come on?
No, I don't think he would.
I don't.
but
I
he
wouldn't want
might.
him in my
He
house. Is the
might.
thing. Unless he's
If he comes in, he's got to wear the outfit.
oh
I really feel like that would get you a lot of hate too.
Oh,
For
100%.
allowing
Be the
that to
most
happen.
hated podcast.
Yeah.
I definitely wouldn't allow him to wear the costume. There'd be no reason for him to wear it. But I would definitely have him on the podcast.
Yeah, to see his side about it, but also I don't know if he would be lying just because he got super called out, like internationally called out,
possible.
or if he would be
It's
truthful about it. 'cause-
Probably most likely, he would probably try to cover his ass in every
Well,
which way that he could.
We both know I'm pretty good at cutting through bullshit, though, and I would 100% call him out. But I would have a conversation with him because I actually I'm curious as why he thought that would be a good idea. There's no possible way he thought it would be a good idea.
Yeah.
Like I said, I think he just wanted attention.
I'd say so too.
That's-
One thing that I didn't like about the entire situation was, despite all of that he got fired from his job.
do you
Yeah,
think
that
that's
was-
right?
that was
Do you
ass.
think that's right or
I
not?
could see it if because he worked for Alorica, is what I heard. What I could see is if it said Alorica and then he was in his Nazi outfit, but he
Mhm.
was just in his Nazi outfit in his spare time, and I don't feel like they should have fired him. I mean, it doesn't make Alorica look bad unless he's representing Alorica at that time and saying Alorica thinks this way also, but he wasn't. He was doing
No.
what he did in his own spare time.
Let me ask you: if you owned a Lorica and your employee
But he
was
got
dressed up that way, just put yourself in that position. He doesn't have a Lorica on him. That's fine, but you know he worked at a Lorica, and he didn't have a Lorica on him. So everybody else knew he worked at a Lorica, and he didn't have a Lorica on him. But if you owned a Lorica and your employee was called out in national headlines,
he was fired before it was not like all over the place.
Mhm.
Though.
Yeah.
but
He was fired,
what
like, the
would you
next
do?
day.
What would you do as the owner of a company you worked years and years and years to build and be successful, and an employee was called out and caught like that?
I think it would be different if the news articles even said Joe Bob from Owensboro, Kentucky worked for Alorica dressed like this at the event.
Yeah.
But I mean, unless it was just made out.
How did you
there
find
with
out he
the
worked at a
story,
Lorica?
A girl on Facebook.
Said
That's
he was
what
fired.
she said.
Yeah, I had
fired.
heard a couple different things. Some people had said that he does some kind of watch repair as well, and then
Yeah.
some people said he worked at Alorica or they had worked with him at Alorica.
Mhm.
So it wasn't actually clear whether or not he had still worked there, but we now know that he doesn't work there anymore if
Yeah.
he did.
Here, I think that it's not right he got fired from his job. On the other hand, I think of if I had an employee that was caught. Now he wasn't even caught. That's the wrong word because he wasn't trying to hide it. He was
Yeah.
just captured in the moment of wearing that and it offended a lot of people. And they knew that he worked for me. I'd feel like I'd have no choice. My business
Well-
would suffer because of the
Yeah, absolutely.
choice of keeping that employee.
You're talking
on.
about Alorica, which is tied up with many contracts with Verizon. So
Yeah.
the
Now, what if Verizon cut their contract because of it?
that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying.
Then your business
They
sinks.
have to look at the bigger picture here because even if here's the thing, what a lot of big corporations do when they settle a large hub in like a town or city or something like that, they put on community events. They have all kinds of different things where they invite the community.
U.S.
to
Bank.
it. U.S. Bank's a big
Big
one.
example.
TTMA does it. CRS One Source does it here. You know, if you're putting on those events and say someone gets wind that you've got someone that works for you or a couple of people that work for you that are part of a hate group, people are going to question that and they're going to attribute those things to that corporation just because that's how straightforward the mindset is. You know, like you're employing him, so you're basically enabling him to get a paycheck, and based on the money that you're giving him, he's able to further his hate agenda. So
Yeah.
they have to think about it from like a standpoint, like either fire this guy or face multi-million-dollar repercussions.
Mhm.
So I get why companies do that. It
At
sucks.
that point, he's more of a liability than he's worth.
right, and that's why we're
For
at one of
sure.
those. We're in at will termination type state.
State,
yeah.
yeah.
So
Think
They don't
about
have
it
to
from
give
the
you a
other
reason.
side,
at will
though.
employment.
If I didn't even know that he even worked there until it said he got fired from his job.
Mhm.
I don't know if I would have known that he worked there if he did. Even
Oh,
if
you
he didn't get
definitely would have
fired.
known.
But
It would have been spread for sure.
yeah, and that's fine. But like he owns a watch company, and I went on there. I looked at all like people were sharing like the watch company and say, "Hey, leave a bad review because he's a racist asshole."
Well, that's social justice.
yeah,
so.
yeah, and that's fine because that's his company
Mm-hmm.
and that's what he has to do with. But Alorica, you know, what he did there have to do with the company besides that he works there?
Mhm.
He didn't do it representing Alorga. He didn't do it at one of their
They didn't
events.
have their badge
Right.
on. Or
That's
anything.
see, that's
and,
what I'm saying.
And they want to say, which I don't agree with what he did. Just saying that, I think it was fucking stupid. But
Definitely stupid.
But you know, people want to say that poor kid. They dressed him as Hitler. Okay, that's fair because he is a poor kid for that. That sucks.
Mm-hmm.
But now his dad doesn't have a job. Now that kid can't eat food because his dad doesn't have a job. He owns a watch company. Nobody's gonna go there. So now it's for real that poor kid because now he can't. You know, what if he can't eat food? You
Right.
know, what that was their only source. What if that was their only source of income? You know.
Mm-hmm.
So
if that was, and it sucks, but at the same time, I just have to fall back on what a dumbass. Why would you have done
definitely
that?
would
You
have
could
done
have you could have chose not to subject yourself to any of this
yeah, that's true.
by just not being a stupid fuck.
Yeah.
I do feel like there are far worse things that parents make their kids be a part of. You hear of cults all the time. There's documentaries all over Netflix. I mean, there's cults of 13-year-olds getting married to 38-year-olds, and we don't seem to have that on over the national news all the time.
Well, that's because they're not common. Two, they don't happen in Owensboro, Kentucky.
That was the strange thing is it came out of Owensboro.
Yeah, isn't that some? Like,
That's the thing. It's
like,
such a small town that it's a big deal.
the one thing that went international about us is
Kentucky man dressed as Hitler.
Yeah, and Owensboro, Kentucky man dressed
Yeah.
as Hitler. Like, dude, we're not that bad of it. Like now we're this town, Owensboro, Kentucky, is looked at like it's a fucking racist shithole.
Now it's got a stain. I remember one of my friends sent me like 2 or 3 links to Reddit posts that had like it was so bad. Like these Reddit posts were like they're like, well, we already knew Kentucky was full of bunch of racist
I know.
cousin fuckers,
Yeah,
and I was like,
I know.
oh,
There we go.
Yeah, it was
Barefoot and pregnant.
Yeah, it was bad. It was really bad. They were roasting Kentucky hardcore, you know, based on one guy who dressed up as a Nazi, you know, and God, it's rough to see because it's like that crowd mentality where they're just like, yeah, well, we already knew that, you know.
Weren't we
Stuff.
the place of the last hanging also? I mean, we're not
Yeah.
known for very good
Oh,
things.
yeah.
We
Well,
have good barbecue.
Oh, here's the thing.
Yeah.
That was a black guy that admitted to raping and killing like a 73-year-old woman. So he
was
deserved
it a black guy?
Yeah, it was a black
I don't
guy.
know it was a black guy, but yeah, he did admit to raping. Like, what you said, 73.
Yeah,
I knew
that's
she was
probably
old.
not accurate. She was very old though. I think she was in her 70s.
And like the last public hanging, not really a bad thing. Now, if it was like racial, like a lynching, that's fucking awful.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
like public execution is not necessarily a bad thing.
It was
you know?
widely regarded as
At least
an
I don't think
entertaining
I was
event to
about to
go
say-
to for the longest time for
Yeah.
For the
hundreds of
time.
years. Yeah, for probably longer
Yeah.
than hundreds of years. You know, people were doing it for a long time. They're like, it was literally like a joyous event. Everybody
There
get
was
all
a popcorn
get the kids
and-
together,
Yeah.
and we're gonna go downtown and watch somebody get hanged. Like Jesus,
See, that's wild. That's probably the reason why it was banned, or not banned, but stopped happening.
it was frowned
Um,
upon.
I guess
I think we should do it with mass shooters.
Yeah, exactly. And see, that's what I think. Like
Terrorist
it,
attacks.
It puts a message out there like, hey, if you're gonna do this bullshit, then we're gonna hang you in front of everybody, and that's gonna be how you leave. You don't leave like some guy that's going to prison and living there for the rest of his life. No,
Yeah.
you're dying. You're gonna die. We're gonna.
You're going to die. You're just going to be quick
Mm-hmm.
because you were caught doing it.
Because I don't care how many people you shoot up.
Mhm.
You're afraid of death.
Yeah.
If you go and shoot up a fucking place and you don't take your life after, you're afraid of death.
Mhm.
So kill them. I don't like those.
And even if they do take their lives, they're still afraid of death. They're just
Mhm.
afraid of cops more.
hmm
I
So
do think the death
control
penalty, because I watch so many prison shows, there's no reason that some people should be on death row for so long. I mean, kill them or don't kill them. And then I don't want my tax dollars still going to it. If they have been found guilty, there's no doubt about it. I mean, if there is a 10% chance that maybe they're actually not guilty because new evidence has turned up, cool. But
I think
that
I read
doesn't
that-
happen as often.
6% of death row, it's estimated 6% of death row inmates are actually not guilty.
Wow.
They're just a
That's
victim of
fucked.
circumstance or
That's bad.
scientific advancements at the time weren't as far and shit like
And you can
that.
sit on death row for years and years and years.
Yeah, long time.
And that's just crazy. I mean, if you know that's what's going to happen to them, just do it. Why are they still sitting? I don't. Are you just booked every day? Just don't want to do it?
For-profit prisons, probably. I don't know. I don't know much about the prison system.
I don't either.
I love my prison shows.
You fucking do. That's why I had to make a new Netflix account. That she got into foreign dramas for a while, like French shows where you had to read the subtitles.
Are you serious?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was like, so I'd scroll through Netflix and it would all the suggestions would be like bullshit French shows or
Au
German shows.
revoir.
Yeah, I was like, dude, I'm making my own fucking account.
That's pretty gay.
I made my own
That's
account.
pretty gay.
And she gets
So you're remember who.
Oh, here we go.
She thinks it's more gay that I just watch The Office on loop most of the time, all the seasons. Boy, when it's over, I start at episode 1 again.
Oh God.
But I don't watch it. Most of the time when I'm just bored, like playing on my phone, sitting in the living room, I just want background noise. That's what I'll put on for that. You know, if I'm watching something, like we've been into Gotham lately. That's a pretty good show. It's based on
first couple seasons were like very highly.
Yeah, see, Laci said yesterday she was starting to get a little toned out of it.
It's just getting a little
We're
stupid.
on what,
I mean, do
season
we know,
2?
Do we know who the hell
2, 3?
killed his parents or not? Can we just kill the guy that killed?
Wasn't it
his
Patches
parents?
Malone? Oh, spoiler! Fuck.
Oh,
But
shit.
he was hired though. He was just contract killer,
Oh,
and then he
okay.
took his own life anyway. So.
Right. Somebody out there's pissed right now. What the fuck?
I think we're having some internet issues, and that is because we are not hardwired in. So
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna go do that right now. So
is this my house?
I know at work I kept
Break.
having to log in.
Oh, we're not still on, are we?
yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's just not as smooth as it could be.
Not as smooth as it could be. Chase is very technical. So we were talking about Trump and signing an executive order to end the
14th Amendment, is that what you're talking about?
It's not ending the 14th Amendment. It's just stopping 2 illegal immigrants' babies from being citizens. Is what it would be stopping.
Yeah.
What is that called? There's a term.
Naturalization.
Naturalization.
Mhm.
Yes. Good job. What do you think about that, Cox?
I think that's complete bullshit. Because it's in the Constitution, and whenever like when Obama was president, I didn't necessarily like him, but when he was president, he'd do something and be like, "Oh, that's completely fucking unconstitutional," and they go fucking crazy. But what this is it's infringing a right in the Constitution, and that's unconstitutional. But I understand where they're coming from, because illegal immigrants are having kids here, but those are kids that were born in the United States. They can become president because they were born in the United States, and they're citizens. Like if I'm born in a country, I didn't choose to be born in that country. I was just born that way. And if my parents are illegal, I didn't choose that either. And those kids can grow up.
You left the door open.
Those kids can grow up from poverty and become really upstanding citizens, or they can be a bad citizen, just like anybody else can.
Right.
And it's wrong to deny them that right they have when everybody else has been given that right.
Yeah.
And if you're going to model a country after something, you have to model the whole country after the entire document that it is, the entire U.S. Constitution. And I've known guys that will say, the National Firearms Act, where you can't have a barrel under 14 inches with a stock, or you can't have a suppressor, and you can't have fully automatic weapons without paying a tax stamp.
I've heard they're newer than 1985.
Yeah. Yeah, and manufactured after 1985. They say that that's an infringement on the Second Amendment. And
Sucker was loud as fuck against that mic.
and that's fine, because it is. I think that every gun law is an infringement on the Second Amendment, and that's fine because it is. But this is an infringement on the 14th Amendment. You can't pick and choose which amendments you want to support because you think, that's right. If you're going to support the Second Amendment, you need to support the 14th Amendment with the same kind of inspiration that you have with the Second Amendment, because they're both important. All amendments in the U.S. Constitution is important because that's what the country's modeled after. And people need to understand they can't pick and choose which amendments.
I agree
They all
with
have
that
to be
100%.
absolute.
100%. It's.
Are you
I
guys
think
talking about the Trump birthright stuff
Yeah.
that he was talking about? Yeah.
I think you said it best when you said that baby's not choosing to be born here.
Mhm.
They had never seen their home country. They're technically the United States would be their home country, but they've never seen their parents' home country. Why would you deport them back to that country? And they have no
Exactly.
part of that. But on the flip side of that, their parents would be deported and they would be left here. So, but again, that's the parents' choice that they chose to have the kid here.
Yep.
So they're setting themselves up for that.
They have to realize the risk that comes with it.
Right. I don't know how you can get around that though.
Some of them want to do it just to give their child a better life,
Well,
but you have to realize you could still be deported.
That's what I'm saying. If you're going to, here's the thing: you've got few set circumstances where things get really weird. So you have someone who comes over to the United States illegally, crosses the border, gets here, has a kid here. Okay, they're born here on United States soil. They're here illegally. doesn't matter who they shacked up with. That's not really important. And then you've got people who bring their children with them over the border. Okay, so this affects all the kids that are born this side of the border. Okay, but they come from illegal families. As Zach said, it's going to be hard to argue with the Constitution. You know, these are birthrights. These are things you get just for being born on this side of the border.
Yeah.
An executive order is not going to change that. You know,
I mean, he could write the executive order.
It doesn't matter. He can write
but it would go to
whatever
the Supreme Court and be overturned.
he could write an executive order that makes him king. It doesn't
mean anything.
It's just an executive order. It only has as much weight as the executive branch has, and it doesn't have as much as a lot of people seem to think. But it's one of those things where Trump kind of knows what he's doing, where he's pushing buttons, and he's just like, well, what if I just write an executive order that says all those kids got to go back too? You know, he knows that's going to piss people off. He knows what he's doing. He's been aggravating.
Well, and he's doing it right here before the midterms, which is what a lot of people were calling that out, that this caravan that everybody's freaking out about is still like a minimum of 2 or 3 months away, I was seeing. And he chose now to bring all this up, right before the midterm.
Here's the thing about the caravan thing. How many times has this happened? This caravan. This has happened several times.
Several.
I've never heard of it.
Mm-hmm. I've never heard of it either.
I asked anybody
I heard of the
last
about it, one.
And somebody said, yeah. It happened a couple years ago too, where it was like whenever there was something that happened in a Central American. I think it was when Venezuela or something like that, maybe it was Nicaragua, went through some kind of regime change, and then a bunch of people.
The government was killing a bunch of people.
Yeah, okay.
Venezuela.
Things that happen in these authoritarian countries and stuff like that. All right, whatever, it happens. These people want to flee. I understand, and they have every right to flee as human beings. They have every right to seek a sovereign nation that will protect them and their rights. I understand that, and they can do that here in the United States. But they have to do it the right way.
Right.
You know, and the right way of doing that is to get properly documented like we all are. We are just lucky enough to have it done at birth.
Right.
They didn't have it done at birth, so they've just got to go through the process. I understand that process is outdated. It takes much longer than it should, and that should be updated. But you can't just shove it all out into the water. Just get rid of it. Get rid of it all at once. It's just not how you fix these problems. Mm-hmm. You don't swing far left because something you did that was considered too right, you know, it didn't pan out the right way. So you don't go far left, because then you're far left, and you don't go far right over something you just went slightly left over. It's overreaction and counterreaction. If you overdo something, it's going to be bad no matter what it is. So the people that call for open borders to fix these issues aren't really thinking about the whole thing in the grand scheme. They're thinking about the micro routines, you know, the kids that are being deported, or the families that are being deported, but they're not thinking about countries as a whole, safeties as a whole of these people. You know, they're kind of just trying to make sure that everyone's okay, and it's a compassion thing, and I get that, and it's honorable in a sense, but at the same time, you're not fixing the issue. You're possibly making a terrible issue even worse. It's like, I want these people to get help. I don't want them to be stranded, starving, and dying. You know, it's like, if I can help in a certain way, tell me how. And if it makes sense and you can show me some results, I'll support it. But the thing is, you don't just, well, nobody's ever done this before, so let's try it. You know, if you think open borders is a good idea, show me a place where it worked, and I will gladly look at it, because I love to see new information that I thought was incorrect to actually be correct, or something that I thought was correct to be incorrect, because I'm like, holy shit, there's stuff I don't know, you know? And so it's just weird that all of a sudden now we're hearing all about this caravan and about how, you know, and
the troops got mobilized to the southern border.
I mean, I get it. They're trying to protect the people of this country, and that's what they're there for. It's just...
But
it's tough.
The reason they mobilize troops, but the troops are only support. They're only going down there in a support capacity. They're not actually able to like be hands on,
right?
Because what is it? There's a fucking ruling back when they used the National Guard to keep black people out of white schools. They made a court ruling saying that the military, unless under what's it called? Where they allow the military to take over.
Martial law.
Martial law, yeah. Unless under martial law, the military cannot be used to enforce domestic law. Well, so they're only going to the southern border in a support capacity.
They also did the same thing to protect the girl that was going into a school, protect the black girl that went into a school. but that is true. You can't deploy troops on domestic soil. But if they're in a support, that's probably why they're called a support role.
That's exactly what it is. Yeah,
they're gonna have their weapons, and they should. But I'm just glad to see how the whole thing plays out. I don't know what's gonna happen. Probably nothing. But
I hope people get help.
Yeah.
I mean, if these people...
Last time they came, that by the time they made it, there was like 400 people that actually filed for asylum, and that was of the thousands that were moving here.
Yeah.
So you gotta realize this, that they're gonna stop off. Some are gonna stay in Mexico. Some are gonna stay in border towns. Some are gonna stay.
And some people, and you got to think, some people are going to try and take advantage of that.
Right.
You can't think that every single one of those people, and I'm not making a blanket statement, and I'm going to make a blanket statement while saying that, but you can't just automatically assume everyone's innocence that, you don't know.
You were staring at Chase, waiting for him to get onto you.
No, somebody already made a comment about the candy.
Timmy, I'm not trying to hide the fact that I'm eating candy. I'm very proud of my
You got the
candy
comments
stash.
pulled up over there.
I just don't want the loud rapper being in the mic.
Yeah, thank you, Laci. Yeah, it's a tough spot. It really is, because we have the capacity to help a lot of people, but you want to make sure that you're helping them. Mm-hmm. You want to make sure you're actually helping them, and not like doing something that's detrimental. Bringing somebody in and calling them and giving them all the resources that they need is okay for a short period of time, but in excess, you coddle somebody or a group of people, it doesn't do them any good in the long run. It's it's the eatable mother. The don't worry, I'll take care of everything. I'll tie your shoes for you. I'll bathe you. I'll do. It's just not. It's not a road that you want to go down with a mass of people.
Yeah.
It never ends up panning out. So I think we have the capacity to help a lot of these people that actually need help, and we definitely should. And guess what? We have some pretty awesome fucking tools in order to do so. We got GoFundMe's. We've got groups all around this country that will help people get into this country. They will help them fill out the paperwork. They will teach them English. They will do everything that they can to get them into this country and get them a job. We have agency legally. Yeah. Not these sketchy coyotes that are like killing people, kidnapping people, selling them into the sex trade. Yeah. People can get help. They just have to know where to look, and it's so hard to know when to look when you've got all these people pushing you, say, no, you should be here no matter what. You should be able to cross the border no matter what. And you've got a group of people that's like, maybe you should do it the right way, and your integration will go a lot better if you get into this country the right way. Because if you cross the border illegally and you get over here and say you end up in Texas somewhere, Texas is a huge state. They can't search all that with a fine-tooth comb. I get it. There's probably a lot of illegal immigrants that live in Texas. It's probably just a statistical fact. Okay. You get into Texas, you have no paperwork, no kind of documentation. You could probably find a job in Texas. There's plenty of work to be done 100%. In Texas.
I'm sure they have Mexican restaurants.
But the problem is...
You gave me a snicker. I seen it.
Yeah. The problem is now you're in a country...
Hot plate.
What do you want to drink? That's all over your food.
Yeah, I mean, you get into the country, you've got no friends, probably no family. You may be by yourself. You may be with a group of other people. You're kind of screwed. You may be able to work for some farmers or some odds and ends jobs, some roofing jobs, whatever skills you may have that you bring. But at the end of the day, when it comes to having all your things in order, you're going to be in all sorts of disarray. One thing goes bad and you go right back to where you started. That's not the kind of foundation that you want to build, especially if you got kids with you, because you got to think about their well-being as well, especially if you brought them over the border with you. If you had them here, they've got some rights, so that's good for them. The kids will be okay, hopefully. Those are the things we need to focus on. Are the people that are here and that are going to stay here, are they okay? Did they get through the system okay? If they didn't, how do we get them through the system okay? Where we know they're not a terrorist. We know they're not a domestic threat. We know they're not, up to any kind of espionage or anything that would be detrimental to, our country. That's fine. Let them in. I want people to come here. Mm-hmm. There's reasons to come here. There's good jobs. There's good pay. There's so much opportunity. You can't even comprehend how much opportunity there is in this country. And I don't want anybody to feel like they're excluded from that just because they weren't born here. But at the same time, we've got political laws that limit some of the opportunities that you can have based on whether or not you were born in this country. I just think those are a little silly, but it is what it is. I mean, that's a small battle. We've got other battles to be fighting right now. You know, whether or not a Hispanic guy born in Mexico can be president. You know, maybe one day that'll change. I don't care about that. I don't care if you're from this country or not. Whether or not you want to be president of this country doesn't make a difference to me. Whether you're born here, whether you're born in Canada, whether you're born on an Air Force base in Canada, you know, stuff like that to me doesn't really matter because
I've never thought about it before.
If you're going to go, because here's the thing, people are so afraid of the Manchurian candidates and the people that are, you know, spies from other countries. It's like, you really honestly think that somebody's going to get to 35 years of age, get into the political system and get all the way to the top, and it turns out, oh yeah, we're bringing this motherfucker down, you know.
What if they did though?
Depends on how much they get paid.
Yeah, you know.
Everybody's got a price for something.
That's true, and we've seen that in the past election cycle. Some of this is pay to play.
I'm not sure that I'd be comfortable with having a foreign president.
I don't really care.
I'm not sure I'd be comfortable.
I'm not
with
sure how I feel about that either.
I've never thought about it though.
I don't think that I would, but then again, it's like, it just depends on how much you love America. I mean, you have to love America to be the president. If you're like, America's all right, then you're not a good president.
Yeah.
And so, but you cannot deny that the immigrants, especially like people from Mexico and other Hispanic people, they're hard fucking workers. I worked a tobacco job one summer, and it was a fucking super long row of tobacco. You got like 3 rows, and we were fucking cutting them down and shit. And I got like halfway down on mine, and those motherfuckers cut theirs and started cutting into mine. And I was fucking like 8. I was 17 years old, you know.
Yeah.
Like, I was young. Those guys are hard workers. And also, like at plants that I go and work at, those guys are doing insulation jobs. That's a shit job, dude.
Yeah.
Like I had to work in the insulation because they were doing the insulation. That shit got all my arms bumpy. It sucked. But those guys that do it, and they get paid decent too.
Yeah.
And I mean, they're hard workers, and we need people to fill those jobs that Americans won't do because they're lazy. Just legally, they gotta be legal.
My dad employs a lot of Hispanic people at his work, and he does a lot of the hiring and firing. And if you walk in there, I'm about to lose this microphone.
I saw it going down. Yeah. I went, Chase, you gonna do it or not?
So my dad here, he employs a lot of Hispanic people at his job, and not because he's selecting them out, but because those are some of the only guys that apply for the job. And he'll tell you, as he'll tell anybody else, he's like, yeah, he's like, I don't want I don't want to say it like this, but he's like, I almost don't even want white people to work for me because he's like, my hardest workers, they're all Hispanic. Mm-hmm. Yeah. He's just like, and they've stuck around the longest. He's like, I've had guys that come in and last 2 or 3 hours, and he's just like, and I've had guys that have stayed here for several years, and they do like a sanitation job, so it's not easy, and it's like cleaning very disgusting places. So it's not a job that you want, but you get a lot of overtime and you get a lot of hours, but you're working thirds and it's kind of rough. Mm-hmm. And my dad is bilingual because of that whole job profession.
Right.
Because
that's wild.
Yeah, he literally had to learn Spanish because at every plant that he oversaw is all Hispanic guys, and he'll tell you, he's like, those are the hardest workers I've ever seen. He's just like, they're in a good mood most of the time too. He's just like, it's crazy. So, I'm not willing to say, oh, well, we shouldn't let them in here because they're taking jobs from Americans. If they're taking your job from you, it's because there's a reason.
You're about to lose it again.
Am I really?
I've never had my job taken by anybody Hispanic. That's for sure. It also goes with like, how much are you going to charge for your labor, mm-hmm. like, and for your knowledge and your time? Like, there's things that a company can charge you for, or for the reason they pay you. They can pay you for your time, which is the most important. They can pay you for your.
It's super distracting.
Yeah, it is.
I know what's going on, but I still want to look at it.
They can pay you for your time. They can pay you for your knowledge, and they can pay you for your skill that you have. And if you don't require a whole lot for your time, then that's fine. But I require a decent amount of pay for my time because I have knowledge and I have skill. And if those guys don't charge that, then they're gonna get the job. And if that's what makes it better for the guys that own a company, that's fine. If they want to work that, but other Americans won't work that. Like that. It's like, well, what kind of benefits do you have? You only pay that? Fuck that. Mexicans will be like, oh yeah, I'll do that.
He's like, what are you gonna pay?
Yeah.
Oh, you're gonna pay me?
I knew you were gonna do that. I was waiting for it.
I'm just so used to it being on. Yeah, I totally agree with that. We had talked about this a few podcasts ago about just the area of opportunity now that you have with jobs. It's not the same as what it used to be. There's so many different corporations. There's local startups. There's huge corporations that employ hundreds of thousands of people, millions of people across the country. You know, they're going to hire whoever's going to do the job. You know, people want to talk about like corporate racism. Yeah, maybe in like a small mom and pop shop, but you got to think with a lot of these large corporations, they care about numbers. They care about production. They care about money saved, money earned. They don't care where you come from. They just
what your race is. None of that.
That's what I'm saying.
What gender you are. They don't give a fuck.
People want to talk about systematic racism. I don't know about systematic racism, but I do know that what these corporations and the higher ups care about, what's going to drive their decisions at the end of the day, is what's going to get them the best rate of return to their shareholders and what's going to keep them from obtaining any legal fees that are going to set them back or breaking any kind of international law, because they're just trying to cut corners where they can. And if that requires them to only hire Hispanic people, they're not going to go out and just hire Hispanic people. They're going to go out and hire the people that are willing to take the job for whatever wages they're offering. And if that happens to be Hispanic people, is that systematic racism, or is that just selection of the people that are willing to do the work? You know,
yep. You can only hire who applies.
You know, if the application says, is like if he has like a skin tone like sheet on it where it's just like the darker it gets, the higher the compensation. Yeah, yeah, just like that.
Okay, not okay.
Yeah. So, I don't know, man. It's crazy. There's so much political shit going on. We got the midterms coming up, so everybody's getting all political about everything again. And
Time to pick teams.
Yeah, it gets so gross, man, because it's like people that like don't bring up any political stuff at all ever start bringing it up, and they start acting like they're experts, and they start telling other people to shut up and let them handle the talking. It's just like, why don't we all kind of just shut up and listen? Like that's
Final Fantasy politics.
Yeah, it's you really like find out a lot about people when it comes to this politics stuff. It's kind of creepy and weird, you know, because like some people like I thought that maybe like heavy conservative or heavy liberal are like the complete opposite. It's just like, that's why you don't judge people, but you know, just listen to what they got to say. But there's so many people to vote for. Like I was looking through the list of like all the people, like the commissioners and the district senate. There's so many different people to vote for, and like all of them have like, well, my platform is literally unique because of this. And it's just like, yeah, but you're saying the exact same thing as that guy.
Did you see that?
What'd you say?
Oh, my phone just fell off the table for no reason.
No,
spooky.
It is Halloween. Isn't it Halloween?
Yeah.
It is Halloween.
Happy
Halloween
fucking
day?
Halloween.
Yeah, we're too old.
Yeah. None of us have kids.
Everybody's out trick-or-treating.
No, they did that yesterday.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Dude, I fucking came home from work yesterday. Not a single goddamn place to park on my street. Every fucking spot on the curb was filled up with cars. So I pulled into my neighbor's driveway, cut the wheel all the way to the left, and parked my fucking van right in the front yard. I got out and everybody was like, all the trick-or-treaters and shit. I'm like, fuck y'all, man. I got to park. This is my house.
Yeah. Oh man, it was so bad at my house. Like I took the dog for a walk, and like as I was coming back, like this drove me absolutely nuts. I was coming back, and it was starting, like the sun was starting to set a little bit, so people were trying to get a jump start on trick or treat and get all the good treats and or good candy, whatever. And so as I'm coming back, I'm walking down my street, and there's all these kids everywhere, and they're all dressed up in costumes. And like 3 kids that were probably about like close to 10 years old, like one of them came up to pet my dog, and I'm like, that's okay, you know, that he had asked. But then the 2 other kids ran up screaming at my dog. Like, I'm like, my dog is like still really young. She's only about 6 months old, so you know, she loves to see everybody and everything. But it's just like, you were taught very wrong as a kid if you think it's okay to run up on a dog and scream at it. Like they were like, boo, 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 boo. And I was just like,
Looks like Laci when she sees a new dog.
Yeah, and like literally these kids were like, oh, your dog's so cute. And then like there's these other kids that are literally trying to scare my dog. I'm like, that's like the worst thing. Like you're better off just scaring people. Because dogs,
they'll bite you.
Yeah, and it's just like if you go up to the wrong dog, it's like you don't even have to try and scare it, and it'll fucking bite you. So you should probably be careful.
There was just a news story about that. Kendall Connor, I went to OCTC with her. She's in dance and cheerleading. I don't know if y'all have ever seen her, but she was somewhere.
Sounds like I'd like to.
She was somewhere.
Oh, yeah, no, I couldn't let that slide.
Bent down to pet a dog, and she got bit in the face. And she.
Oh yeah. I remember hearing about that. Okay, now that you say bit in the face, I was like, I remember
she's
that.
my age and still hasn't learned any better. So.
Did she recover okay?
I think so.
Oh, okay.
I think they said it's like minimal damage to her eyes. It fucked up her eyes.
Is she single?
I don't know.
She is now.
Y'all might want to look at that picture first.
Oh, fuck. It doesn't matter.
See her bio.
If she's
on
hot,
Plenty
I'm
of
going to be
Fish.
in trouble. If she's not, I'll be all right.
I don't care what she looks like. She sounds like a good person.
Chase.
That face.
All right, Chase. I know the truth, but all right.
Just jokes. Just jokes.
Yeah.
Just jokes.
You didn't say her name, did you?
Yeah, he totally
Oh,
said.
hell.
100%. First and last. She held
Nice.
no punches.
Nice.
It was
That's
all
fine.
over the news. Go look it up. It was on WBKR. I mean, it's everywhere.
It was on WSTO. That's a radio station. It really is.
Oh, fuck.
It's not.
It's, I feel like it is. I think I've heard that.
I feel like I have to.
Yeah.
It does sound really
Do we
familiar.
have any comments you've been ignoring?
There was a few, but it was mostly just people like, "What's up?" Ted said, "Coming in late to your show is like, what the fuck happened to bring this conversation up?" He said that when we were talking about the immigrants and all that stuff, and then Timmy mentioned that Laci eating the candy.
Oh.
So, yeah, I tell you what, man, it's been weird. It's been weird the past few weeks, like
It
building
has.
up to elections, but this whole Nazi stuff. So, like, everybody's all on edge. The seasons are changing. I don't know what the hell's going on. People are losing their damn minds. It's like, let's just calm down.
Me and you've been going to jujitsu.
Oh God, I've been waiting to bring that up. That's been a lot of fun, dude.
It's been a lot of fun.
I,
I'm fucking covered in bruises all the time.
Hey,
I
yeah.
come home and I'll take off all my fucking clothes, about to get in the shower, and Lacey's like, "Do you have another girlfriend?"
Yeah, I remember the other day we were drilling something.
Well, yes.
Yeah.
He said another. not just that he already has one. Just
Yeah.
he's
That's my
obtained
side
another
hoe.
one.
Yes, that would be me. We were at the gym,
Chase is my main bitch.
and like I can't remember what it is that I did, but it left like a small mark on your neck. I'm like, that just looks exactly like a hickey.
Yeah.
And you're like, huh? Fuck
it.
You literally can't do anything about it looking like a hickey other than being like, it looks like a hickey.
Yeah.
It's from a dude squeezing on my neck, so it's actually kind of gay. But
What do you have to say about that? I know you
No,
got something to say.
let me show you the position he had me in. You'll quickly change your mind.
Yeah, nothing suspicious there. No, it's been a lot of fun. You know, I've been kicking myself in the ass to go down there to that gym and start rolling with some of those
We've
guys.
been talking about it for a while,
Yeah.
and finally, man, I just had a lot of pent up aggression, and I was just like, dude, I just need to get into something. Like, I'll join a gym, and I won't last very long because I just get bored. There's nobody to go with you and shit like that. And I knew you'd been wanting to get into it, so I was like, dude, you want to go? I'm gonna go fucking join, and if you wanna come with me, that's cool.
I was
and
like, yeah, I'll go.
Yeah, and you're like, oh, we'll go check it out, and you get a week free. So we went down to Gracie Owensboro and did a week there, and we liked it, so we joined, and we've been going every day. It's a lot of fucking fun, man.
It is. It's a good environment down there. It's good guys, good
It's
coaches.
a learning environment.
I think that's
It's
what's
nice.
keeping it fresh is that you learn something new every time you go
Mhm.
in there. You get to roll and meet new people, you know, and all, like I said, all the guys are cool down there. You know, it's crazy because you're walking into a room that's got guys that could like murder you.
Yeah.
Like without even breaking a sweat, without even grunting, they could literally kill you. And they're the nicest fucking people.
Right.
You know, or they're the goofiest fucking people. Like some of the dudes that are in there that are straight savages are just like, ooh, you know, like you're like, oh.
Well, and that makes sense though because after we get done there, I'm so fucking exhausted. Like on my drive home, 18 people could cut me off. Somebody could rear end me, and I would just give no shits.
Yeah.
And it's like, man, it's all right, dude.
It
It's
is a
fine.
weird feeling. It's just like you've been literally choked half to death. You've been
Like,
thrown on your back, and
I
you're
used up like all my testosterone. I'm fucking tired. You know, I was at work all day, got off, came home,
Yeah.
changed, and went to Gracie Owensboro, and now I'm just fucking the most mellow person.
That's what I really like about it. Is it's a good workout. You get to learn something. You get to meet some people. Get to test yourself. That's the big thing. Is getting to test yourself. You know, they do a little bit of open mat and everything. For me, it definitely has helped. You don't feel. You feel like you do get some of that like mundane aggression out. The day to day. This dude fucking cut me off. Like my dryer broke the other day. I was like, whatever, it'll get fixed.
Yeah.
And so it's gonna be fixed today. So I wasn't stressed about it. I was like, oh, well, that sucks. And I was like, man, I really should have did laundry the other day when I said I was gonna do it, and I didn't do it. Now I have no clean clothes, so I'm just kind of like pulling shit out of my closet that I haven't worn in a while. I'm just like, it's all right. It's gonna be fine. And I was just like, I'll go to jiu-jitsu. Come home,
blow off some steam.
Yeah, you can definitely blow off some steam, and it's good workout. The only thing that like one of my friends was trying to tell me about it, he said you need to do something with it, and I thought he meant like compete, but what he was trying to tell me was to do other workouts and other kind of exercises with it to kind of get your body acclimated to rolling and stuff like that, because it's really hard on your joints. And it's like after you're done with like a hard session, like you're kind of achy. You're just like, oh yeah, it's gonna be.
Yeah, you should
tomorrow.
be like overweight and out of shape, dude. It's a lot harder.
Yeah, like and he was telling me, he was like, you needed to get some kind of strength and conditioning going with it. Do that like a couple times a week, and you'll feel even better. You'll feel stronger on the mat. You'll be able to do more moves because you're a little stronger in places you weren't strong in before. And I was like, that makes a lot of sense. And he said down the road it'll pay off because you'll have less injuries because your body has more, as he said, biological armor on it, with more muscle, denser bones, because you're actually testing them, in the gym, lifting weights or whatever. Maybe he said something about yoga, but I was like, I don't know about that. We'll see. That would be weird. I'm sure I could do it.
I think 100% yoga would help me.
Because apparently
losing weight would help me. But also, I find
anybody.
myself limited by flexibility quite a bit when we're in there.
Yeah,
a lot of times, for the triangle choke and shit, where you gotta throw your leg all the way up to their shoulder. It's like, dude, I'm fucking struggling.
Yeah, the hip flexibility, leg flexibility, back, core, like your whole body has to be more flexible than you're accustomed to. And I think that's why he was trying to recommend yoga. He's like, you'll get really flexible really fast.
Yeah.
It's like, that makes sense. And apparently he was trying to show me some studies about how yoga is it also has like mental cognitive benefits as well, because it's a lot of like poses and stuff like that where you get to like really focus and you're in your head, you're thinking about a thing that you're doing, and so it's beneficial mentally and physically, and it made a lot of sense the way he explained it. But
and it's core strength.
Yeah,
and core strength makes a lot of sense, using your own body weight to work out. That makes sense.
Yeah, that's why I was like, I'll look into it. And so I was like, if there's anybody out there that is willing to help me or Jacob with our strength and conditioning goals, that'd be awesome. I don't know a lot of people that are, I don't know what, meatheads or whatever you call them, nutritional buffs that, go and work out a lot. But any kind of advice would be helpful, just because I never really had like, I had like a regimen.
Damn, smoke another.
Yeah, no. I never really had like a regimen or anything like that. When I was in high school and wrestling, it was just like something that I did. It wasn't like a set schedule that I was doing on my own. It was something that was put in front of me, and it's like, this is what you have to do today. So I was just like, if anybody's out there that like goes to the gym a lot and is willing to let me just tag along and just, I will definitely do that. Because I've always wanted to just kind of like be stronger than I was. I always wanted to be able to.
You're getting big.
Well,
especially for your size. Like when we roll and you get a pump going on, I'm a lot bigger than you, especially when we roll, and you're still hard to handle, especially for your size, dude. Like
I've been told that before, and.
in all non-gay way possible, because I keep getting the eyebrows over there from Cox.
Oh, come on.
The half eyebrows.
That was pretty gay,
on.
but it's okay. Yeah, no. Well, a lot of that just comes from the fundamental strength I got from wrestling. It's like I kind of know where I can kind of put my body to leverage myself. And I kind of have to. Being my size, I'm like all of 5'5" at 140 pounds. So it's like I can't get away with being just strong enough, just or just be able to just do a technique, just half-ass it, but I'm strong enough to power through it. Like I have to do everything by the book. So it's good for me because it keeps me honest. I can't get by with just pure strength. I have to go by the technique. That's why I'm like so focused on like step-by-step instruction, especially with this jiu-jitsu stuff, because it's like every step leads to another step. And if you miss steps, it's going to come back to bite you in the ass. You
Yep.
may lose the submission. You may lose the position. So
You may pop somebody's neck out of place.
yeah, exactly. You know, or you might pop your own neck out of
Yeah.
place. You know, so and there is moves that are like super dangerous. You can hurt yourself doing. So
Yeah, there's been a couple times where we go to like practice and we're like, all right, we've got to be careful. We got to go slow.
yeah,
Like, let's not break our shoulders.
yeah. And as you get better, those things happen less and less because you make less sporadic, unintended movements with your body.
Mhm.
You know, you're not like if somebody gets you in full mount, you're like, oh shit, I gotta get out of it. You know, like and
Right.
you immediately start like moving your hips and trying to move. Like obviously you got to get out, but you want to go about it in like an effective way. You know, like the injuries come whenever you freak out and you're like let me throw this armbar in. You got his arm twisted in a funny way, and you just go with it.
Yeah.
And it's like
That is true.
yeah, and so
One
you're trying
thing-
to do a move you're not comfortable with.
I think the one that we were both nervous about trying was I can't remember. I couldn't pronounce the name when he fucking said it, much less now.
the
But
shoulder
when
lock?
when you're going for an armbar from the bottom,
omoplata. Yeah, you're talking about the
omoplata. Okay,
Yeah.
and you lose the armbar and you like flip them over underneath their armpit with your leg, and
It's-
you
yeah.
land when their arms like completely stretched out like this. That's how you land on top of them.
It's-
It's like, oh fuck, dude! If you fuck up, that's gonna hurt like
yeah,
real
it's
bad.
it's pretty. It's one of those moves. It's like you don't want to catch yourself in, but it's weird because you do a move like that, and if you're not comfortable with doing it, or you've only done it a handful of times, and you go to do it, and you accidentally like sit your butt a certain way, you could just pop that dude's shoulder or break his
real
arm
quick.
really quick. Because it's like when we were doing, it, I was like, you
Yeah,
know, it's like,
I mean, we drilled that for a long time because we
Yeah.
wanted to make sure we were doing it right.
yeah, because stuff like that, you just don't want to get hurt, doing something recreationally,
Yeah, that's true.
So, but it's fun though because you're learning something, but it's an applicable skill. It's just like you learn a skill that will keep you humble. It will enable you to do more things, be more confident in yourself. You're not as worried about the threat of physical violence because
Defend yourself.
if push comes to shove, you know that you can handle the situation in a way where you don't have to pull firearm. You don't have to take a chance that you don't know what the outcome may be.
You don't have to beat the shit out of them.
You can disable somebody without killing them and without great harm to them or yourself.
Right.
If you choke a guy out, he's going to wake up in a few seconds. He's going to be completely confused on what's going on,
Mm-hmm.
but he's going to be, once he's out, he's out.
Yeah.
He's, I've been choked out before. And when you come to, you're kind of just like, well, hey, you kind of like you just woke up from a nap because you're waking up from a
Right.
nap, and so it's weird, but
Lacey's like, I have no idea. I can't add to this conversation at all.
but I mean, it's just a good thing all around for you, and so that's why I'm really enjoying it. Is like I'm hitting a bunch of nodes at the same time. I'm learning something. It's good. It's good for your overall physical health. It's challenging.
Playing drums.
I'm playing drums. People were complaining to me at work the other day about how much I use my hands to talk, and it's like, I'm fucking sorry. I can't stop doing it. I would have to sit on my hands to stop that. But yeah, I'm enjoying it. It's a lot of fun, and I mean, if anybody ever wants to go down, they're super cool.
Yeah.
Like new people walk in every day, and they're just like, "Can I roll?" And like, sign the sheet. Come on in.
Yeah.
So they're
extremely welcoming.
yeah, very welcoming. Good guys. Josh Hayden's an awesome dude. I've known his brother for a while and a couple of his buddies for a while. So I've always kind of like, I was like, I've seen his face or his name, but it's like I actually get to know him a little bit now that I'm at his gym, and he's a cool guy, and I like him. So I'm all for that gym success just because the kind of community that they're trying to bring, what they're trying to do. They're trying to put Owensboro on the map because.
For more than just Nazis.
Yeah,
Oh,
for more than
no.
just not-
Yeah.
Bring it full circle.
Hey, how often do y'all go there? Is it?
I go there every day.
At least 5 days a week now. It's been
Okay.
Yeah,
it's
I don't
tough.
go Saturdays or Sundays.
Yeah.
I would if I had nothing to do, but most of the time I'm
Are
busy.
you guys members?
Yeah.
I am, yeah. Yeah, he is too.
How much does it cost a month?
I think it's 85.
It's expensive,
Oh, my.
but
Yeah.
you're learning a skill that's like you're not going to be able to learn anywhere else. You
Yeah,
watch
that's
YouTube
true.
videos, but you can't roll with killers from YouTube. You can't learn what you're doing wrong from YouTube. You could do something 1,000 times watching a YouTube video, and it's just like, am I doing it right?
For me,
Yeah,
I
sure.
just love the fact that I'm able to get in an extremely good workout in such a short amount of time. We're usually there for an hour and a half. and it's something that I want to go to. Whereas like going to the gym, it's really easy to convince myself to not go.
Yeah.
Whereas if I don't go there, I feel guilty.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, and then I one day I had something come up and I couldn't go, and I was sitting on the couch. I was like, man, you fucking piece of shit, get up, go to the fucking gym, and I don't know. And it wasn't even because I didn't want to go. It was I had somebody coming to the house that I had to be here for. But man, I don't know. I love it. I think it's a lot of fun.
It has been fun.
What do you think about it, Laci? She's tired of me coming home every night and icing down. I always have to get an ice pack and put it on something.
What do you think, Laci?
No comment.
No comments. Your mic is 8 years away from your face.
Because I
You piece of candy
can't get a
here.
word in edgewise anyway. So
Why can't you talk?
Because Chase talks a lot.
Chase usually does not talk. So
I've been wanting to talk for a while.
yeah,
I literally came from work to here and I didn't talk at all at all at work.
I saw you in a meeting today.
I was never able to do
Yeah,
that.
It's been driving me nuts, and I like really enjoy doing these podcasts. So it's just like there was a few things I wanted to talk about.
Cut that motherfucker off. You just talk right over.
Yeah,
him.
just talk right over me. Just be like, shut your fucking mouth.
Shut your fucking face. I got something to say. I'm happy you came in here though. I had to like scream at her to come in here.
Oh, that sounds good.
Yeah.
Domestic violence.
Oh, everybody knows Laci will whip my ass. It's not a big deal.
True story.
I've seen it happen.
Yeah. Seen her try, bitch ass.
This is what Chase looks like all day at work too.
Yeah,
Walking
100%.
around with his big ass headphones on.
Yeah, I do.
Do you have a whole headset now?
I saw
Yeah.
you
You should just
walk
wear
past
earbuds.
my row like 6 times a day. I was like, what the fuck is he doing?
I do.
Taking
I walk now. Like I have to. Like I got all this energy now, so I'm like I take my breaks and I just take laps.
Is it the CBD oil?
No,
Are you still
I need to
doing
get
that?
back- I haven't for a while just because it's expensive, but I'm thinking about getting back on it just because of jujitsu.
Yeah.
Like because like sometimes
You
I
need to
have
smoke weed after jiu-jitsu. Get that inflammation down.
and pass out. Yeah,
Yeah, go to sleep.
Yeah, you'll definitely fall asleep after that. But it's just like with the CBD, I like the it gives like a boost to your like your body becomes inflamed from repeated movements and stuff like that. Your muscles and joints and stuff like that get inflamed. And CBD has some really good anti-inflammatory effects on like the muscles and the joints and stuff like that. So that like I had a little bit that I was using for a while and I was trying to make it last and then I stopped taking it just because it's like it can get expensive, you know,
I
especially
bet.
for the higher doses. And the more you use it, the more higher of a dose you need. Your body builds up slight tolerance to it. At least I think it does. That's everything I've been told. Could be bullshit though.
It could all be a placebo effect to begin
Yeah,
with.
it could be, but you know, I don't know if the placebo works.
And if it is, fuck it. Yeah.
Yeah,
you know,
there is.
as long as you've convinced it to work and it does work
Yeah,
for you,
the
then fuck
placebo
it.
effect is real. So I mean, whatever. I mean, it could be. You know, that's the thing because all these wide-ranging claims is like we're curing cancer. I'm like, not really.
Let's might chill out on that.
let's
But
just tone it back a little bit. With the, it kills cancer. So
Are you talking about like just CBD oil?
Yeah,
Okay,
like yeah.
Because they have proven that like cannabis cures cancer.
So yeah,
not cures and treat.
Yeah,
Can treat.
it
Right,
helps
right.
treat because apparently there are some forms of cancer that the CBD inhibits their growth to a slight degree. So that coupled with treatment, coupled with other things, increases your chance of defeating certain types of cancer. So yes, in that respect, yeah, it does. But there's some people that are like, no, CBD is a cure to all cancer. I'm like, but it's not though. You know?
But check it out, big dog. You're wrong.
It's like, because when you get cancer when you're 80, start taking a bunch of CBD and see if it stops. Because apparently everybody gets fucking cancer.
Everybody.
Literally
Yeah.
everybody.
Everybody.
It'll die in a car wreck or cancer.
Yeah.
It's only two.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I definitely recommend people to give it a shot. You know, it's legal and it is kind of expensive, but shop around, see who's got competitive prices and see who's got the best organic product. You know, because there's a lot of people out there selling stuff that's like kind of sketchy. You
Yeah,
don't
don't buy it from Jerome.
buy.
Buy it from like a store.
Yeah, this is CBD, man. It's like,
It's actually black tar heroin.
like
That'll work.
you actually might be getting a pretty good deal on some black tar heroin if you're paying
Yeah.
CBD prices.
Dude, I seen an article. It was like how to tell if your child's candy is laced with marijuana. It's like, first of all, if you're handing out gummies,
smell it.
yeah, like tell your boy,
Yeah.
because you've got a lot of money to just be
Yeah.
giving kids
Yeah,
edibles.
I remember when I was a kid, probably it was. I think I can't remember how old I was, but I was old enough to still like it was the last few years of me trick or treating, and
So like 20,
So,
21?
2 years
yeah,
ago?
a couple of years
Nailed
ago.
it. Good job.
Wasn't that long? Yeah, they both had the
Nice.
same fucking answer. But I had stopped by this house, and this old lady had homemade these little peanut butter bars, and they looked so good. And I ate 2 of them like right off the bat. I didn't even let them hit my bag. I was like, and they were just in a Ziploc bag. And I take the rest home. My dad saw
Smack
it.
'em.
My dad took it. And he's like, "Oh, throw that shit out." He's just like, "You never take something from a stranger that's just made like that. You never know what's in there. It could be
Dad, I
cyanide."
took the razor blade out.
And I was like, and he was like, he said, he was like, "Just throw that away." And I was like, "Oh, well, I've already ate some of it." And he was just like, "That's going to kill you someday." And I'm like, "Wait, like, I'm going to eat something that's going to kill me someday, or like someday
This is gonna kill
that
me."
candy that I ate is going to kill me." And like, I lost a lot of sleep over those comments.
Dude, I grew up out in Stanley, and you would get on a hay ride, like a tractor would pull this big hay cart, and all the kids would get on it, and it would take you like house to house, and you get back on and go down the street a little further and shit. And almost all treats out there were like homemade.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it was just normal. They're phenomenal. You get like a fucking can of Mountain Dew and a caramel apple. You know, you wouldn't get
I remember that.
like a
That
Reese's
house.
bar or something. Oh yeah, we'd hit the same house a couple times. Yeah, good shit. We're coming back.
I have seen a lot of people on Facebook complain since last night when the trick or treating happened about having a shit ton of candy left over because nobody comes to their house anymore. Well, why would you if you have trunk or treat and you don't have to, walk a neighborhood? You can just it's all it's right here.
Yeah.
There's too many.
Did you volunteer to go
activities.
pick it up for them?
I thought about it. I mean, that's where this came from.
What did we go get? One time I came home from work and it was fucking pouring rain, and she wanted me to go with
Dog
her.
treats.
Dog treats. Some lady was giving away dog treats on Facebook, and we
Really?
got out
It was
in
just a street
the
over.
pouring
It
rain.
was a street over.
She was soaked. She got out of the car for like 5 seconds and was fucking drenched.
I didn't even try.
She
to
was
run.
crying, laughing. It was so funny. It
Same
was
with-
Hey,
anybody
Bo
trying to hand me that
appreciated those.
Hershey's over there?
No.
you better give him that Hershey's.
All right, no, that's cool. All right.
That's savage. Oh yeah, just smack the fucking mic,
You're
Chase.
doing so well.
Oh fuck, you've had more mic malfunctions this podcast than anybody else.
It's too much going on, man.
'Cause he's been
I'm
talking
rusty.
the most.
I'm rusty. That's what it is.
Yeah. Oh god damn! Let me get a gif of that.
Like 5 people just joined.
Ladies, he is single.
Yeah, and dudes apparently he can deep throat the fuck out of that Hershey's bar.
Come down to Gracie Owensboro and I'll show you what it's all about.
Oh fuck!
He's got to, figure out how to raise funds for his membership there.
Let him put you in his guard. While he whispers, "Hey, daddy."
Oh, careful.
Pull his
You're gonna get
ponytail.
Cox excited over there.
Yeah.
Shit.
Oh man.
Cox, you ready to get out of the fucking military, bro?
Yeah.
You about ready for it? You've been in for 5.5 years.
5 years and 3 months.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Good time?
I know.
Thank you for your service.
Dun, dun, dun,
I
dun,
mean, I appreciate it,
dun, dun,
It's been so disappointing, dude. Like,
It's so disappointing.
it has. I mean, it's just.
What's up, babe?
These suck.
Take them off.
You don't have to have.
You don't
them
have
on.
to have them on. Yeah.
It's just kind of like a. It's
Get
more
some
for
big ass ears. Goddamn, put the hair back over them. You're picking up new TV stations. Oh shit.
Good lord. Tell you what.
Where's the beer?
We're going to class after this. I was gonna go get
It's
some
perfect
beer out
time
of the
to
car,
crack open a couple of cold ones.
some brewskis.
Yeah, whatever happened to that meme, man? Crack
What?
open a cold one with the boys. That was a
Oh
good one,
yeah.
dude.
Well,
That
it
was a good
evolved
one.
into like Saturdays are for the boys, and that's kind of where it
Oh
stayed.
yeah.
But it's kind of chilled out.
Yeah, that was. I liked that meme. I was
Me
okay
too.
with this. Saturdays are for the boys, and let's crack open a cold one. I like those.
So, I got a question.
Mm-hmm.
What's something that y'all do when you're insanely drunk and you realize how drunk you were when you wake up? Because I went to go get lunch on Monday and all my cards were all fucked up. So
Oh, like you're in your wallet?
Yeah, in my wallet. Like all my IDs and cards were all in different places, like in my billfold part. And
I
shit.
think that was Summer though. Well, it may have been you.
No, it was absolutely me.
Because you wanted to get
it.
pizza.
Yeah,
I remember that.
Yeah, and they wouldn't fucking do it. Who doesn't deliver pizza at 12?
I know that's
Squares,
some in
it.
Evansville too.
Yeah, in fucking
like,
Evansville.
It's not like we were even in Owensboro.
Yeah.
We're in Evansville.
And I think in Owensboro it's still until 2.
Yeah, it is open till 2. I was pissed off, dude, and drunk.
That
I
was
like-
crazy.
I was super pissed off. That's something that I do. And if I wake up in like a weird place, then I know I was drinking heavy.
Yeah. And when Chase falls asleep in a lawn chair by the fire, you know he's fucking plastered.
Dude, alcohol makes me so tired.
Dude,
Like-
it was so funny that night. It was the first time I'd ever brought you around my main group of friends.
And that was the first time we had like drank together.
Yeah, I had
The
picked
first
you,
time.
I picked
You
you
were
up.
already drunk.
He was already drunk when I picked him up.
mean,
I was
he
drinking with a
fucked
couple
up.
other buddies,
Yeah.
and then they bailed on me. So I was like, "All right, man."
So I picked him up. We go out to the county where there's a fucking bonfire going on and there's beer pong and it was a good time. And he fucking just rages at beer pong. Like he's winning every game, but he's like, "Yeah, get some boy." Like, he's fucking flexing on dudes and
Like,
When I am,
then he passes out on the fucking porch.
Yeah, he
and
passes out on the porch.
no, he done pissed off everybody so
Yep.
much nobody woke him up to tell him to come in. I was like,
Nobody.
Chase, come on, dude, come inside. And he's like, oh, just leave me here. Like, he's.
I know what's good for me.
And then I woke up the next
Hypothermia.
morning, and at some point you had crawled your way inside the house.
Oh no! I woke up and it was like the sun was getting ready to come up, and I was like, I saw the dew on the grass, and I was like sitting up, like I had like fallen asleep, like I sat down and then I just fell sideways. Was like the way that I woke up was just sideways, and then I was like woke up and like I felt like I had been laying in that position for 2 years, and so like I'm like getting up like real fucking slowly.
Bones popping.
Yeah, I'm like, oh no, and like then the hangover starts to come, and I'm like, yep, you did it again, you fucking asshole.
Why do you do this to yourself?
It's just like that.
CBD oil.
Yeah, I need a gallon of it.
Dude, I
bad.
think the thing I always do when I'm drunk is when I go to take a piss, I look in the mirror and just kind of look at myself for a minute and go, you're fucked up.
Yeah.
I have a moment of sobriety when
Yep.
I'm leaning against the wall trying to keep my balance, got my cock in the other hand,
Yeah.
trying to not piss all over their floor. And I'm like, all right, Steve, you need to calm down.
Yeah.
You need to go out there and you just need to not drink for like fucking at least half an
seconds.
hour.
When I'm at
At least half,
Yeah,
and I'll
when
go
I'm-
out there and somebody will go shots. I'm like, fucking sign me up.
Yeah.
It's always you and Summer.
what I was gonna say was, yeah, that's
Summer can throw down some shots, man.
whenever I get to that point where I'm in the bathroom, I'm like doing alcohol math. I'm like, all right, I could probably get away with 3 more
Alcohol
beers,
math.
but I'm like 3 more beers, or maybe I could do a shot and a half and then wait on that for like 30 minutes and then walk out of the bathroom. And I'm like, shots.
Yeah,
it's just
see,
like,
I have
got
absolutely
it.
no sense of when I need to stop.
I don't
I have
either. I know.
absolutely
I
none.
don't either.
Yeah, Lacey knows. She's like, you need to stop. I'm like, you said another one? You're almost always the DD, though. You never want to drink.
Summer's
Even
always
when
my
I do
DD
drink,
too.
you decide that you want to drink too, just like at Sarah's birthday party.
Yeah.
We talked about
Sarah's
him.
birthday party.
Yeah,
at
Sarah's
CYO,
birthday party.
Whenever we had Chase come,
CYO.
we had Chase come.
Oh, all those
Karaoke
weird people
night.
go there.
No, I just showed up.
Shots
Tipsters.
fired at everybody who goes to CYO.
Yeah.
You fucking weirdos. You know what it reminded me of? It reminded me of all the weird kids from JROTC. Like, if they started a bar, that's where it would be. Yeah, and I know you're a weird
Is it
kid.
really?
That's what it was like for me, and they were super snobby. Like, I ordered a Bud Light, and
They
they're
were
like,
all a bunch of hipsters, is what it
like,
was.
really? A Bud
That's
Light?
lame.
I'm like, yes, a Bud Light.
Well, not a chocolate daiquiri beer. It's like 20,000% alcohol.
You want to hear me sing Acid Rain?
Yeah.
What? Oh, it was that song from the Titanic about that guy that just belted it
Oh,
out.
Celine Dion.
Oh, my heart will go on.
My heart will go on. Yeah,
He
was
it.
fucking murdering it. He didn't even look at the words for the karaoke. He was just
Because he knew it.
Yeah.
He practiced.
It was good though. I'll give him that.
That's
It was
fine.
phenomenal.
That was
It should be, 'cause he
not
practiced.
the
I
He
would
practiced
go
at
back to a
home.
karaoke night if it went down like that.
Yeah, that was a pretty fun time.
Dude,
I
when
wouldn't
do you do
go and
karaoke?
just sit there
We do need
because
to do
it's not
karaoke.
even like it's Taylor's where you can like half-ass dance because they
Here,
don't
Mike
play
T.
music or anything.
Yeah,
But at least at the karaoke night, it was something. to
there's no
watch.
room to dance in CYO
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah,
And they don't even play music constantly. I mean, you sit in this half bourbon barrel table and some chairs and a hot ass upstairs.
that upstairs is really,
Yeah, it was
really hot. Yeah, but it probably won't be bad in the winter at least. It'll be where you'd want to be upstairs.
I had some notes in my phone of karaoke songs I could sing while I'm drunk, and I deleted them.
Nice.
I was gonna sing him at my uncle's house.
You sang something by Snoop Dogg.
Yeah, that was all.
At your uncle's house.
That was "Ain't No Fun" by Snoop Dogg, and that's a good fucking song.
Dude, your fucking uncle's awesome.
He is
I love
cool.
going to his house and
He is
drinking.
cool. You know what? Actually, let's talk about him real quick. So,
Shout out to Tyler Cox,
yeah.
Granddaddy Cox.
So if he goes somewhere and he wants something, he'll fucking buy it.
Mhm.
And it's not really. I mean, it is an impulse buy, but he doesn't really give a fuck. Like, I don't know if I'm selling him out like to his old lady, but like we went to Whitaker's the other day, right? And you know, he we were looking at some stuff, and then he went, "You want to see those thermal sights?" I went, "Yeah, I want to see the thermal sights. I always like to aspire to what I can probably buy someday."
Yeah.
And then so we looked at it, and then, you know, he saw one that he's been looking for, but every gun store he goes to, they're all dead. But Whitaker's had them charged. So we looked into it, and then he gave it to me, and I was like, yeah, that's pretty cool. You know, pretty much the same thing you always do with thermal sights. Like, yeah, that's pretty cool. But
You look through it, look at somebody's face, and go, "Oh yeah, that's pretty cool."
Yeah, that's pretty cool. But it's also like $3,000.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Yeah, you like that?" And I was like, "Yeah, man." And he was like, "Yeah, go ahead and ring this up." I'm like, "Oh my god, Tyler!"
You mean they were $200, right?
Yeah, for his old lady.
Yeah.
Listen, yeah.
Yes, yes.
He was like
200.
tree fitty.
Not even that. But
They're on sale. Buy one, get one free.
and
That's
he
probably what you do to me.
What?
Buy one, get one free.
One price.
I used to. Now I don't.
yeah, negative
Yeah.
$2,500. Yeah.
Like when we first got married, I would absolutely do that because
What'd you lie to me about?
I don't know, lots of shit.
Ooh,
I'm
sold
sure.
himself out. All right,
Said
Doug,
lots of
go ahead and fess up to your wife.
All right, guys.
Yeah.
Thanks for tuning in today.
No, it's not so much anymore though. Now I just don't really give a fuck.
You know,
you're gonna bitch or you're not.
You know-
what I mean. Like it's already bought. I'm not taking it back. So.
What-
That's the
Don't
thing
ask
with guns.
permission,
when
ask
I come
forgiveness.
when I come
Yeah.
home with a gun, it's always funny. She's like, "You're taking it back." I'm like,
You can't.
can't. Yeah. I can sell it for half of what it's worth
Yeah.
on Facebook if you want me to. And
Yeah.
get a 30-day ban again. I'm a king of getting 30-day
Yeah.
bans,
Oh
bro.
my god, Jacob, you are a wanted criminal on Facebook.
I love it. Fuck them.
They can't stop you though. They can't stop you. That's so fucking funny. You were getting banned for all sorts of stuff. It was literally like you're like, man, I got priors on Facebook.
I got warrants.
I can't even talk about. I can't even say AR-15 or I get banned.
Oh, you just got it kicked off right there.
Yeah. Dude, I tell you what, Facebook has pulled our audio on some videos, and I don't
Really?
Has it really?
Mhm.
It's pulled the like it
pulled it. As
deletes the audio in the video.
leaves the video, but will delete the audio.
Are
It
you
will not-
serious?
Yeah, they've
What-
done it before.
Really?
Damn,
Have they done it with-
censoring
Have they done it
us.
with the video that I'm in?
No.
Oh,
Did
well,
they do it
I'm-
with the Katie
I'm
one?
fucking up.
Because that one
in
was pretty
video.
wild.
Yeah, that one was wild as fuck.
No. There was one with when we had DJ on here.
Well, it was DJ.
Well, it was.
Yeah.
Lacey's not a fan.
Yeah. Well, you know, to be fair, he's got a very vibrant personality, to say
Yeah,
the least.
for
so
sure.
You either love
For
him
sure.
or hate him, or you know.
He's sober now, which is a
What-
new experience for me because I've never been around him sober. So now he wants to call me, and instead of like yelling at me and saying some wild shit and then hanging up, he actually like wants to talk. I'm like, what do I even talk to you about? Are we friends?
Like, who
He was
are
the
you?
bitch that was supposed to show up to the UFC fight and then said, "I'm not going to be around all these know-it-alls."
Oh,
After
he
saying I
posted on
was gonna
Facebook.
go.
Yeah, fucking calling out Judah, fourth son of professional wrestling.
I mean, I get what he's coming from to an extent, but it's like, what are you talking about? You
It was
go
just a
hang out
good
with
group of friends trying to have
Yeah.
a good time.
I don't think he
and
was
then-
necessarily saying us. I think it was just
He
Yeah, I
he
don't-
told
But
me afterwards
also
he was
said that
like,
he was going to come and then didn't.
yeah, I think he had some stuff that came up that night, and he had tried to kind of convey that to me. And he was talking about how in the past me and him have been at places like we've went to events where people will like get people together for the fights, and like it was bad, you know, where people are just like, man, he just should stand up and knock him out right now, and it's just like, well, I mean,
Well, he should've-
yeah, he should
what
do,
should've
but.
done.
It's, you know, not that easy. He's like, he just needs to stand up. Like, if you had me like that, I would just stand up. It's like,
no, you wouldn't.
and like, I'm trying to remember exactly. Like, it was almost to the point where it was just like, all right, bro, let's do it in real life then. Let's do it in real life then. And it's
Yeah.
like, all right, man, motherfucker, like, chill out. But like, I mean,
if
it's
anybody
fun.
was going to be that way that night, it would have been him.
Yeah,
That's true. He gets wild.
he is.
Especially
It's one of my favorite things
He
about him.
enjoys MMA a lot. He gets really into MMA.
Yeah.
You know, same way he's into professional wrestling. Like, those are his
I-
two favorite things.
Very seldom have more fun at the bar than when he is there.
He's
Like he's one of
say-
those.
That's the truth.
He will say
He's-
anything to anyone.
He's
He
fucking
will.
hilarious.
He was like, "You dare me?" I'm like, yeah, I dare you. No, we'll fucking do it.
Dude, my favorite thing is when he sees some older women at the bar and they walk past. He's like, "Mom, what are you doing here?" And they actually snap their fucking heads like their son's behind them. It's so
That
goddamn
is so
funny. Dude. It's hilarious.
He hits people with it all.
He hits women with the same pickup line every time. Hey,
What is
you
it?
remember me from school? And they're
they-
like, "No."
Really? They say no?
Yeah.
Most drunk will be like, "Oh yeah, hi, how you doing?"
Yeah.
So a couple of dudes he did that to, and they're like, "Oh, dude, I haven't seen you in forever." And
Yeah.
we're
There was
literally
a dude
crying.
that wouldn't leave us alone afterwards.
Yeah.
He kept trying to hang out with us. We're like, dude, we were fucking kidding. Go away.
No, I remember you though. No, you
No,
don't.
you don't. He kept saying he remembered me. I was like, I promise you I've never met you.
Because you look like every white guy from Stanley.
I had to tell that girl at work who was 29 that she didn't go to high school with you because you're
Mike.
22.
29.
Yeah. Yeah, this woman said that she went to high school with me.
Yeah, great
Lacey's
car,
like,
actually.
no, you didn't. He's way younger than you. She's like, no, I swear I did. She was like arguing with Lacey that she went to high school with me.
I like her, but I was just like, the math doesn't work
Yeah,
here.
we're probably going to go to high school together.
No, I was in high school for a long time.
Long.
Long time.
Dick.
You're going to learn today.
She has not learned, obviously. Can't do math. Good
What
lord.
are you scrolling through over there?
Facebook. Like I'm going through the TCP page.
Oh, yeah. I need. Should I start sharing memes to the TCP page?
You might as well, man, because people love that shit.
I get like a lot of likes on them because they're just funny.
Just don't get too wild with it.
I'm gonna get
Get
wild
way
with
too
it.
wild with it.
I just don't
Hey,
know.
Here's something you don't need to do. Don't share a meme or a picture, and every single picture meme you share, say caption this, because nobody captions
No,
it. They just tag
that's
their
lame.
friends. It's fucking stupid.
No, I would just do like I do on my page where I just.
I've been
fucking share it.
wanting to. I always like have these ideas, but never when I'm like around like where I can like post it. You know, like through my phone, it won't let me post it as TCP. It only let me post as me. I don't
Why?
know. I don't know. I have
Alright.
no idea because I know
You're an
could-
admin, right?
Yeah, I know. It's not that it won't let me. I just don't know how to do it. I guess I'll just have to figure it out.
When you go to the like for me, I just go to TCP and it posts as TCP.
oh, okay. Well,
Or there's a button that's like I can post as Jacob Payne.
yeah, I thought that I
but-
had that too, but I couldn't figure it out. But I have like these ideas, I want to ask like a bunch of people this question. I'm like, why don't I just ask it on the TCP page?
Yeah.
You know, and
No, 4.5 inches is subpar.
yeah.
I think it's pretty universal.
All right.
Oh wow.
Wow.
But yeah, we definitely need to be posting more on this page because like you post so many memes that, as general that it's just like most of them are pretty fucking hilarious.
Dude,
But,
I have
like,
people message me telling me how fucking funny the memes I share. I'm like, I don't even make them. I just share them.
Yeah,
I share a lot of them from you,
Mhm.
and I share I follow a lot of meme pages too. But
they are pretty funny. I'll tell you what.
I think it's fucking hilarious.
Some of them have me.
Do you follow my memes? What do you think about 4.5 inches?
Subpar.
At least we're all on the same page here.
He said, definitely not girthy. doesn't quite reach it yet.
Subpar. Oh my.
Subpar.
With that being said, we are rolling at about 6:30 here.
Are we really? Fuck.
Yeah. So we've been going about 9
Oh, it
minutes.
is 6:30. Yeah,
So-
we gotta go to class soon.
I was just about to ask your wife what's the most annoying thing that men do, but no, we're about to.
Ooh, what's the most annoying thing I do?
Oh hell, no, that's personal. We don't need that.
Oh, we definitely need it.
The most annoying.
Most annoying thing I do.
There's so many.
I'm a fucking annoying person.
Call more than
Like,
fucking
I'll
once
get-
when I don't answer.
I'll
Around
get
the house screaming.
I'll get in moods
Everybody
where I
does
just
that.
want to
Everybody does that.
fuck around with her, like just constantly. I just
Yeah.
won't even let her breathe for a second
Every
without
guy,
being
every
annoying.
guy does that.
Like we'll be driving down the road and I'll just start fucking doing everything, dude. I'll turn the lights on, flip her sun visor down. You know, like when you slide over so you can see the mirror, the lights come on there too. I'll do that. Open up the sunglasses, pop the center console, get her insurance cards out and throw them at it. Like I'll
Throw it
do.
in neutral.
Yeah, we're trying.
shout out to whoever just liked the Take Cover podcast page. I
Oh,
appreciate
nice.
that.
Dude, I just do the most annoying shit. But like, yeah, you're right. I think that everybody, when like you just randomly scream, I'll do that.
I do
Like,
all the fucking time.
especially if I'm home alone, I'll just walk around and fucking yell
Yeah.
for no reason.
Especially
don't
like
do
when I'm
that.
playing Xbox.
You don't do that.
And I'll get bored. I'll just go. I'll lean back and I'll go. Ah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Except for an extremely long period of time for no apparent
and
reason.
very loud. I just
I've got a fucking video of you in here just before we started a podcast. You were just in here just screaming.
Really?
You were just screaming for no fucking reason.
One day before we started our podcast, Laci was in the bedroom and I was just screaming at Laci. I was like, Laci!
I've
She's
got
going,
that too.
what?
I'm gonna have to post
That's
that.
marriage, folks.
Yeah, so with that being said, thanks for tuning in, guys. We're going to try and be at Big B Pro Wrestling this Saturday. I think it's around 6. If you guys want to come down and see us, we'll have a little table set up there and all that good stuff. Y'all have a good night. We'll talk to y'all later.
See you guys.